Thank you very much. I'd like to share my screen. I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Thank you very much. I will briefly show myself. I hope you can see who I am. Can you see me? And then I will remove it.
I saw you have come.
Yes, we can see you, Sophie.
Okay. So thank you very much for the invitation. Good afternoon, Rotarians, Rotaractors, and guests. I will now switch off the video. Thank you. Okay, so today I'm pleased to share with you on the topic, home-based education, the hidden curriculum. And you can actually see that it's hidden, okay? So the session goal, or the goals for today, to understand hidden curriculum that our children are forming as they study from home, and to reflect on what we can do to assist the less disadvantaged. And I would like to take that narrow perspective of how best we can assist others who are not able to excel. And I would like also to go through the, let me first maneuver this. I want to remove it. Okay, yeah. So I'd like to talk about the Rotary vision statement. Yeah, because my question to you is, who do you partner with to take action? And then, because the vision statement says, together we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities and in ourselves. Okay, then, because that is giving us the background of hidden curriculum. Hidden curriculum as an idea originated from Philip Jackson, who observed schools and school children and looked at life in the classroom in his book. Yeah, he focused on the manners, such as being courteous, making an effort, keeping busy, waiting quietly for your turn, turning up on time. He noticed that school children were paying attention to these. Okay, and we'll now go to the definition of hidden curriculum. It refers to the unwritten, unofficial, often unintended lessons, values, and perspectives that students learn in school. And they consist of unspoken, implicit academic, social, and cultural messages. Hidden, it's called hidden because it's unacknowledged, unexamined by educators, learners, and the wider community. So, hidden curriculum refers to norms, values, beliefs, and procedures. Yeah. So when children are in school, there are rules, routines, and structures taken as norms. There are values like ambition, achievement, behavior that schools insist on. There are beliefs like hard work, good conduct, procedures like recess. These are the times in between, like lunch times, things like interaction with peers, attitudes towards learning, and so on. I've just covered little because of the time that we have. Now, these days we've got children learning at home. For those of you who were here earlier, CP Patrick Nkore said he was in a classroom at home teaching children. They were doing online learning. So what do you think is going to be the hidden curriculum of a child who is studying from home? Yeah. Probably a child may be thinking about the computer RAM. Yeah. Probably thinking about upgrading the computer RAM. And if this gentleman here were the child's teacher, the child would be thinking about the cologne, the scent of his cologne, wondering, is it good? Is it bad? Is it like my dad's? You know, something like that. Probably could even be thinking, team viewer. If my team viewer was updated, my teacher would not have had to come to school. I mean, to come to my home. Yeah, he would have fixed my problem from his home. Okay. We have another one there, Spend, who is also studying. What could be the hidden curriculum of this student? I'm just imagining. Probably spend quality time on homework, probably get unlimited internet package, or probably I need to make myself smart before the lesson begins or whatever. Another example, what could be the hidden curriculum here? This child is studying, it must be in a science lesson because I can see a model, excuse me. And probably this child might think in future, I may want to do dentistry, or probably I need to go to YouTube to see a video on this topic. Okay. We have another one here, two girls watching from their home. What do you think could be the hidden curriculum? A teacher is teaching on the screen, yeah? And probably the child might be thinking about fashion. Would be thinking, yeah, I think I need to dress up like that, or that's a nice dress, or something like that. Or maybe I'd like to think of becoming a teacher in future, maybe organizational skills so that we can have room to watch. As you can see, they must be in a very small room, and probably to cooperate with her sister. So we are still looking at the hidden curriculum. So while the teacher is teaching, the child's mind is forming other ideas, and those ideas come out in different forms. Yeah. And that's the hidden curriculum. We have three girls here, probably watching a lesson or watching a video or something. What could be the hidden curriculum here? Skills, sisterhood, lasting friendship, computer literacy, and other values that you may think about. We have a young man here taking a lesson, lying down. What could be the hidden curriculum here as he engages with his teacher online? Probably he may think, probably I may want to do software engineering so that I could make an app that does ABC. Maybe study skill techniques. And one of them, as you can see, is lying down. Inappropriate sites could come in as a by the way as well. What about us? I saw this boy and I did not think it was funny, but however, I chose here to use it. But tell such a Ugandan about online lessons. Yeah. This is definitely a child who is probably in primary 5, but currently, since there is no school, is working with the mother or father to sell some merchandise, and that's a girl waiting for her lesson. Okay, because where we are moving to is going to be guided by the quotation. Helping one person might not change the world, but it could change the world for one person. We've just looked at the children who have the ability to access online learning. And we've been, as I was trying to put in place what their hidden curriculum could be, I'm sure that you also were thinking about others. Now let's see. A child like this, what do you think could be the hidden curriculum as he is learning? Sure, parental involvement is important. Probably this child has resilient thoughts. I have to work hard for a better future. I must have good behavior. I must take, participate in the village football or family values because he's working with dad and is obeying, and there's going to be a bond between dad, him and the sister. We have another child here accessing the lesson via a radio which is broken. Probably it fell down. I wonder what could be the hidden curriculum as he's doing his lesson. Probably this is going to make him build determination to excel. He definitely must have future career plans. And I'm sure he must have learned how to fix radios. Yeah. We have another one here. He may want to finish quickly to join friends, and he must be having dreams for the future. We have another one here. Great future plans, probably dreams of great furniture, probably meritorious tendency to get government scholarship at university so that he could study engineering. Who knows? We have two little girls here also studying, accessing their lesson via a radio. I wonder what their hidden curriculum could be: friendship, sisterhood, obedience, and many more. We have another one here accessing his lessons via radio, and he must be having huge and big future plans. We have another one yet. Yeah, mother and son. Definitely there will be mother and son bond, respect, and serious work. We've got two little girls here accessing their information from a newspaper. They're either grandfather or father behind them. A hidden curriculum here may definitely be fluent reading skills and current affairs. Yeah. So we have looked at the privileged children and we have looked at the disadvantaged children. Who will you help today in your neighborhood, at your place of worship, in your village? Will that be your relative? Will that be a stranger? OB or OG's child or a friend's child? Who will you help to enable them form a better hidden curriculum? I'd like to tell you the starfish story. You may have heard it, but I think it doesn't hurt to be reminded of it once more. Once upon a time, there was an old man who used to go to the ocean to do his writing. He had a habit of walking on the beach every morning before he began his work. Early one morning, he was walking along the shore after a big storm had passed and found the vast beach littered with starfish as far as the eye could see, stretching in both directions. Off in the distance, the old man noticed a small boy approaching. As the boy walked, he paused every so often, and as he grew closer, the old man could see he was occasionally bending down to pick up an object and throw it into the sea. The boy came closer still, and the man called out, "Good morning. May I ask what it is you are doing?" The young man paused, looked up, and replied, "Throwing starfish into the ocean. The tide has washed them up onto the beach, and they can't return to the sea by themselves." The boy replied, "When the sun gets high, they will die unless I throw them back into the water." The old man replied, "But there must be tens of thousands of starfish on this beach. I am afraid you won't really be able to make much of a difference." The boy bent down, picked up yet another starfish, and threw it into the water as far as he could. Then he turned, smiled, and said to the old man, "It made a difference to that one." So I'm asking you, who are you going to make a difference to? We have looked at the children that are privileged. We have looked at the children that have broken radios. Some are seated outside, probably harsh weathers and so on. Who will you help? And who will you unite with to change someone's life? Together we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities and in ourselves. Who will you work with? Who will you change? Sometimes hidden curriculum overtakes the structured curriculum. Sometimes children end up with just the hidden curriculum as their curriculum. You must remember some of the people that you went to school with that not pass mathematics, would never pass science, would never pass social studies, would never pass anything, yeah? But they were well behaved. They respected everyone. That is all. They managed to get out of school. So today I would like to challenge you. Whose hidden curriculum are you going to help construct? Yes, we can help some of these children. One positive action in your life has the potential to change the world. And that's said by Stephen Aitchison. Asanteni sana. Back to you, President.
Thank you very much. Let me even clap. Thank you very much, PhD Sophie, for your presentation. Members, we are now into the discussion session. Feel free to post your questions in the chat room, but also you're welcome to raise your hands up. Our moderator is Rotarian Joan Lunkuse. Over to you, Joan.
Thank you, President. I don't see any questions yet. Maybe members are still digesting the presentation. I saw a comment from A.G. Moses. He says he likes the photos from the archive. And then I don't see any other questions yet.
I have a question on the comment. Bernadette.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, the talk is very intriguing. I am wondering to myself, thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for making the effort to research and get all those photos. I've met quite a few of them on WhatsApp, especially that boy who is leaning on the thing. I'm saying, okay, I can help one boy, but is there a possibility of thinking of a concerted effort that we as Rotarians can add our voices to the equation, say, this is how we are going to move forward? Because all this is happening, Those who are learning on the internet are learning. Those who are not learning are not learning. How is there a possibility that there can be a discussion of how those who are not learning can catch up, or are we just going to leave it to whom it may concern? I just would like to think how we can move forward and continue with the conversation of how best we can help. I can help 1 or 2 people around my village, but I feel that's not enough. So the selfish goals, but not. How can we join our hands into a national dialogue? Thank you.
Did you people hear me?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
Over to you, Sophie.
Okay. Another
Excuse me,
question.
can I ask a question, please?
Rotarian
Moderator,
Mildred,
can
go
I ask a
ahead.
question?
Please do.
Thank you, President. Thank you, President. Thank you very much, PhD Sophie, for that very insightful talk. I'd like your comment between this young man who is in the garden in the village, and then there's this other boy who is lying, I'm not sure whether it's on the bed or in a chair, and he's on his laptop. And then these two children are both presumably going to do a similar exam in sometime in the future. What do you think about that kind of difference in their lives? Thank you, Sophie.
Okay. Thank you very much, Bernadette, for your question. And thank you for offering to help one boy that you said you are going to help in your village. We need to give you a loud hand clap to begin with. I think the reason why I reminded you of the starfish story is that we can change one person's life, and that one person's life makes a very big difference. Yeah, I'm sure when you hear people talking and then they tell you that if it wasn't for so and so, I would never have come this far. So you never know what difference you can make in someone's life. And as far as uniting as a people is concerned, I think this can be taken up by clubs, because to begin probably from club level, and then we can see how to continue from there. Otherwise, at national level, that might be a bit difficult to be a bit difficult to pull off or to mobilize. However, for us as Rotarians, we could begin as at club level. And then Mildred, PP Mildred's question. Yes, I selected these pictures intentionally, looking at the different settings, the different backgrounds, the different situations that the children are in, and yet these are the same children going to do the same exam. They are going to be examined by the same board. Yeah. So there is a disparity for sure. And I don't know how, I mean, I don't have an answer. I think one person in our midst should give us an answer to that, because this is one of the things that we always talk about, the disparity of the standards within which our children access education, yeah? And yet they sit the same exam and compete to the same for the same places. However, God is faithful, because even those children who are faced with such circumstances go through. Yeah, I would like to end it at that, at God's faithfulness. Otherwise, some of us would have never surfaced to be where we are at the moment. Thank you. Back to you, President.
I think, Joan, there's a question in the chat.
Yeah, we have a question and a comment. The first question is from Manzi Daniel, and he asks, parents are jumping to international curriculum. Is this advisable? Also, what are the dangers of pupils skipping classes so as to catch on edge? I don't know if Pag, Sophie, if you got that. And then we'll have a comment.
Could you first repeat the second bit of it? I didn't get the second bit of it.
He asks also, what are the dangers of pupils skipping classes so as to catch on edge?
Who asks that?
This is from Manzi Daniel. And then we have a comment. I hope you got that. And then we'll have a comment from CMP Kin. A very well illustrated presentation. Thank you, Pag Sophie. Yes, we can join hands as Rotarians and help change learners' lives. And then we have another comment from Michael Chigundu. And it says, my dear Pag Sophie, what do you think? This is a question. I beg your pardon. This is from CMP Prosina Matogo. It's a question, and she asks, what do you think is the fate of our little ones as young as 8 years now, but had completed nursery section and been home for 2 years? What's your advice on to the parents? Let me repeat that for you. This is from CMP Prosi. She asks, what do you think of the fate of our little ones as young as 8 years now, but had completed nursery section and been home for 2 years? What's your advice to the parents? We have another question from CMP George, who asks, how does culture influence the hidden curriculum? Maybe let's first answer those and then we'll proceed.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much. I will begin with the one of Samanzi Daniel. About parents joining the international curriculum. I don't think I'm the right person to answer this question because I am in an international system, and currently we are admitting so very many children from the national curriculum to the international curriculum. So my answer is going to be biased. You will allow me to give you my personal view. Okay. So probably where do I begin? What I have had parents say is, one, that children have been home for too long. Two, that they had taken long to have their eyes open. Three, that they don't know what tomorrow holds. And that's their background or their basis for bringing the children into the international curriculum. At least that's what I have been told. Then the age, the children who are skipping classes because of age, that's a problem. I will tell you that, as I was announced, during the introduction, it was announced that I am heading the North Green School, which is an international school. It's a secondary school. And there are parents whose children were in senior one in March 2020. March 2020. They had just studied for probably 3 weeks, and then the lockdown was enforced. So those children did not study the senior one, the whole of senior one. They did not study the whole of senior two. And when they come to me, they ask that since it's September, I should put their children in senior 3. And policy at the North Green School is not about money, and we say no to such. We say no to such, and we do not admit a child like that. So those who are doing it are ruining the children's future, because there is going to be a gap, or there are going to be gaps that may be difficult to fill, depending on how well the parents are going to work with the school, and how much effort a child can put in, and how much the child can manage. So personally, I don't agree with that. However, on the other hand, I want to say that we have come to an agreement that the child who was last in senior 1 in 2020 March, that child can go to senior 2. Yeah. And we are going to work on covering and bridging in some of the gaps. Yeah. At least that one, the disparity is not so much. We can work on covering some of the gaps that are there. So that one is possible. The jump from senior 1 to senior 3, no, that one I do not support. Then CMP Kin, thank you very much for taking on the challenge of caring for saving a life. President Prosi, what do you think will be the fate of the young ones? Oh, who have been at home for 2 years? It's challenging. It is very challenging. It is the same situation as for the children who are in senior 1, because they haven't been to school, and even the ones for senior 2. And when you hear that there is online learning, there is online learning. I know there are materials that are given, but how many families are able to get that information, print it, and avail it to everyone that needs it? Definitely some families are able to get the resources, print them off, and give them to the children. But there are others who will not be able to do that. So as far as the solution is concerned, I think that one goes to the ministry officials. Personally, I don't have an answer for that. I'm also speculating and wondering, as well as you are doing. So it's a sad situation. Yeah, we look up to God for a solution. Thank you, President.
Okay, thank you so much, Pat Sophie. So we have more comments and questions. President, can I continue?
Yes, please continue, John.
Okay, so we have a question from CMP George. He's asking, how does culture influence the hidden curriculum? And then we have a comment from CMP Kin. He says, disparities will always be there, but we can help the less privileged to excel in their small spaces. And then we have another comment from Michael Chigundu. He says it has made a difference. Parents are magical teachers. Many times children don't forget what has been taught by their parents. And then we have a comment from Moses Mwesigwa. He says, thank you for that elaborate presentation. We can make a difference in our neighborhood. Each soul counts. And that's it for now. Oh, sorry, there's another question again by Moses Mwesigwa, who is asking, he's saying he likes the idea of transitioning to the international curriculum, and then he's asking for details for the costs. That's all for now. Sophie, did you hear the comments and questions?
Yes, thank you. I heard. I was trying to mute somebody. Okay. Culture and the hidden curriculum. Definitely, culture affects and influences the hidden curriculum directly, because when you look at the different cultures that we have, let me just take an example of how it is done in central Uganda, how children are taught how to kneel down and greet. I'm quite sure and confident that the effect comes off as being respectful, yeah? And there is a direct correlation, sure, between hidden curriculum and culture. I would say that. Actually, culture is much, much more directly connected with the hidden curriculum. And then the comment on the disparities, yeah, that's okay. Thank you for that. Mike, and also Jean Michael Chigundu, thank you for your comment as well. Moses Mwesigwa, transitioning into the international school. I did not capture the question. Would you like to repeat it, please?
I think the question was about the cost of the curriculum, or something like that.
The cost, you definitely need to go to the schools. There are so many schools. There's Aga Khan, there's Kampala International School, there's ISU, VOA, there is Kaboja, there is Taiba, there's Acacia. There are so many schools. There's Rainbow International School. So what you need, you just go to a school and find out.
Okay, thank you so much, Pag Sophie. President, can you please unmute Eji James? His hand is up.
Eji James, go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much, CMT. Mine is just two small questions. First of all, thank you very much, Sophie, for this very, very insightful talk. I've really enjoyed every bit of it. Just two small questions. One, parents are now transitioning children from local to international syllabus or curriculum. I don't know how that transition plays, how you get the equivalent. Let's say P3, what do you call it in the international system? And then how possible is it in future if somebody decides to bring the child back to the national curriculum? How does that work? That's one part of the question. The second part of the question is, if you put your children on international curriculum, I'm told, then you should be prepared to send them abroad for further studies. Because I think what I heard earlier was that it becomes difficult for our local universities. I mean, in most cases, those in international syllabus will be disadvantaged when it comes to entering Makerere or any of the local universities. Can you just educate me around that area? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Eji James, for that question. Okay. First of all, the equivalent of the classes depends on the kind of curriculum that you want to do. I will give you the one where I am, that is the Cambridge education. That's British. There are 7 years in secondary school. There are 7 years in secondary school, and there are 6 years in primary. So essentially their P7 is in secondary. So you start counting if it's, remember I said I'm using the British, yeah? It's year, they use year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, year 6, and that's in primary. And then when they go to secondary, year 7, year 8, year 9, year 10, year 11. So year 7, then senior 1 is year 8, senior 2 is year 9, senior 3 is year 10, senior 4 is year 11. Yeah. And then the sixth form is the same, senior 5 and senior 6. Okay. So I hope I have answered that question. So P3 would be the same as year 3. How possible is it that a child can join the university? As far as I understand, a child can join university into what's it called? National Council of Higher Education. Yeah. A university which is under National Council of Higher Education. Yeah. They want 2 exams, and the exam is O-level and A-level. And Cambridge has got O-level and A-level. The people who find trouble joining university are the people who don't have O-level and A-level. And mostly the ones who are doing a different curriculum. But then I heard recently that negotiations were being made and translations were being made of the curriculum so that they could be able to join. I don't know the truth, but I know some years back, about 4 years back, a child who completed a certain accelerated education course and could not join university, but then later joined Cavendish. Yeah, could not go to Makerere, could not go to other universities around, which are under National Council of Higher Education. So, but I heard that there has been ongoing discussions. Yeah, except I don't know how far they've gone with them. But if you join a Cambridge system, if you join International Baccalaureate, IB, your child, no, IB, your child will go to such kind of universities because they will have done IGCSE and the IB diploma, which is an equivalent of senior 6. So unless a child does a course that does not have the 2 exams, so which means that it is imperative on a parent to check, first of all, whether the school or the curriculum that the child is going to be doing, whether that curriculum has got 2 exams, which are equivalent to O-level and A-level. Otherwise, the joining of the universities, you see, I have been in this system for like 100 years, and I have seen some children join Makerere University to study courses like medicine and so on, and there should be no trouble. I even know of one who did law, so there should be no trouble really about that. I hope I have answered your question.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
Just a quick addition. There are some people who say that they have let me call it a myth. Yeah, they say that the international education is simple and it is much easier to access. On the contrary, no. It is very difficult. I want to say, the first time I joined an international school, I was in a class I was put in a class equivalent to senior 1. And let me tell you what happened to me. I was put to teach my area is English and literature, and I was asked to teach the poems I had studied at university. William Blake, Wordsworth, Coleridge, Sylvia Plath. And if I was not smart and steady, I think I would have given up. And we even see it when we interview children. When they come in, they come in at a different level because the subjects are the same, but the articulation, the focus, the interpretations are totally different. And I want to say that I want to dispel the myth that it is easier to access and that children who come from there won't be able to fit in. On the contrary, their levels are much higher. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Pag Sophie. You weren't so clear at the end. You are on and off. I don't know if it's my internet. And I think because of time, we should close this session, except we have 2 comments. We have a comment and a question. One comment is from IPP Martin Luanga. He says UCU has admitted kids from schools using international curriculum with a number having graduated. And then he advises that SCE system has now students at MAC, that is Makerere University.
Yep.
And then we have one last question from Rose Mukisa. She asks, is it true that a child from the Cambridge to national curriculum will have grades assessed differently on admission? For example, ABB will be converted to BCC. Is that correct?
First of all, I want to thank the person who has elaborated about the SCE now allowing, allowed into universities. That is good.
And Sophie, we can't hear you clearly. I don't know if it's only my side. You're very hazy.
Me too.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, so I was saying that I'm pleased to hear that the dialogue between universities and SCE schools has been sorted. That is good to hear, because in the past they used to refuse them. I know of a child who was out for 3 years. Okay, that is good to hear. Then about the translation of the results, I don't have the truth, but if anybody translated the grades because I would say that that would be very unfair and unjustified. Yeah, I thought.
Thank you so much, Pag Sophie. So let me take it back to President to conclude the fellowship. President, are you online?
The president was off for some time. I think she lost network, but I'll stand in for a few minutes. I'll request PP Daisy to please pass a vote of thanks. Thank you. Daisy doesn't seem to be on. Rotarian Jesse, can you please step in and please do the needful.
Okay, let me just get a parking. Thank you, Acting President Katie. I was a bit on and off, but I caught the presentation, and I'd like to appreciate PAG Sophie on behalf of the Rotary Club of Kampala West, the Rotarians and guests on the call. You have shared on this very important topic with your own experience and your own examples. I was particularly impacted by the realization that as a country, Uganda, while we are talking about online learning, it's still far from reality, especially when I saw the pictures of the children here in Uganda, the child working with a mother in the garden somewhere, and you're telling him about online classes. So I think it's something that has impacted me, and I'm thinking, how can I help someone in my neighborhood as we embrace the new model of learning? Overall, I thought you did justice to this topic, and I'd like to appreciate you once again for excellently and eloquently delivering this topic. Thank you for enlightening us on the future of education, both here and in the near future to come. Thank you so much. Back to you, President.
Thank you, Jesse. Apologies, I was abandoned by my internet, but I'm back here, small time, like the young people say in school. Thank you, AG Sophie, and I'd like to thank everybody that has joined us today. In a special way, I'd like to recognize our AG, Moses Musitwa, and all the other AGs in the house, all the PAGs, PAG Ronald Kawadwa, who is also in our midst, all the Rotarians, guests and friends, and my fellow Changemaker presidents who have also joined in today. As we come to the end, I would like to invite our Sergeant to give us the roll call of clubs. Over to you, Sergeant.
Thank you, President, and thank you for doing part of my work and recognizing the PAGs and the AGs. I'd like to recognize representation from the following clubs: Kasangati, Nansana, Sunrise, Kampala South, Boyogerere, Nambole, Kampala East, Makindye West, Kampala Springs, Kampala Nalia, Ntinda, Kiwatule, Chambogo, Acacia Sunset, Rubaga, Rubaga Lakeview, Nakasero Central, Kirinya Bukasa, Inawil Kampala, Bunga, and Kisasi Chanja, then the Rotaract clubs of Rubaga and Makindye. Thank you very much for sharing your lunchtime with us, and please join us again next week. Thank you, President.
Thank you, PP Katie. And final toast, I would like to invite Changemaker President Paul from Kasangati to give us the final toast.
Thank you, CMP, for this opportunity, for this great learning and insightful presentation from PAG Sophie. Very proud from RC Kasangat as well, our member. And thanks for the great learning and insights. Friends on call, I take this opportunity to propose a toast to Rotary International.
Rotary world over.
World over.
Rotary world over.
Rotary world over.
Totally.
Now the room is open for Chimeza. PAG Sophie, thank you for all us.
You're welcome, and thanks for the invitation.
And I also saw my board member, Annette. Annette, thank you for joining us if you're still online.
Hi, Susan. Yes, I
Hi.
am still here.
Are you a member of Rotary?
No, I'm on invite by my sister, Catherine, very, very passionate member.
Oh, okay. We look forward to the day when you will become a member of the Rotary family.
Thank you.
Yeah, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Yeah. President Bernadette, thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you. I've enjoyed it very much.
Yeah, it was a good talk. I know the subject of education is close to your heart.
Yes, and I'm very happy to announce that today we got £12,000 to build a hall in Nadangira at our
congratulations,
institution, which is sponsored by the OGs of Trinity College in Nabingo.
Your cohort is really doing very well.
Yeah. Join us. No, we have even younger people. We have.
No, by the way, remember, I think the last PTA, the last AGM, where I think there was a team that was nominated, I think, to work with you or something.
Yes.
You remember?
Yeah, they are working. They are working.
I think I'm on that team.
You are?
I think I am on that team.
You should join.
Because
now I can retire.
From what?
From that team.
No, we need your wisdom, Bernadette.
You'll take over from me. Oh, but it is such a nice thing.
No, it is very rewarding.
An all-purpose hall, which will make the college. It will give it a niche because it will become a center by itself for examination. I'm so happy. I'm very happy.
Okay. Yep. All right, everyone. Thank you for coming. I am going to end this call so I can start another meeting. But thank you, everyone, for coming.
Good.
Bye.
Bye. Have a blessed day.
You too. Bye-bye.